Well, good morning. It's Walter and I here in the garage again this morning. And today we're going to continue with our observation in the book of James. And today's verse comes from James 1:13, and I've titled it, "Who do you blame?" And the verse says, "Let no man say when he is tempted that I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither does he tempt any man." And I guess my observation, the first thing that comes to mind as I think about Adam, where he turned around and blamed God for Eve and for what she did. Most of you know the story about Satan tempted Eve and she ate of the apple, and then she turned around and gave it to her husband Adam and he ate it. And then, of course, all heck broke loose. And when God approached him, the first thing Adam said is, "This woman that you gave me, she's the one that did it." Again, blaming God. I guess the second thing that I think about is, you've heard the phrase, "Why do bad things happen to good people?" Well, sometimes that happens because of our own doing. But in other times it's because of circumstances or situations, that are beyond our control, such as someone dying of a drug overdose or a drive-by shooting, car accident, or maybe just some fatal disease that who do you blame? When I think about that, I also think about things I've heard where people have said, well, if there's a God, why would he allow something like this to happen? Well, realize with God, there are really two wills. One is called his directive will, that which he intends and he puts into practice. But the other is called his permissive will. And the word there is really to allow things to happen. For those of you that know the story of Job, it's worth taking a look at where God allowed Satan to do everything under the sun to Job, to kill his family, to do everything except he couldn't kill Job. And I've always wondered, why is it that all these other things happen, but Satan never killed Job's wife? Because she's the one that went to Job and said, "Why don't you just curse God and die?" To me, that would be, well, again, maybe one day we'll find out the reason there. But the one thing I do realize is that maybe instead of blaming God, if we wanted to, we should blame Eve and Adam. But I submit that we have the opportunity and the choices in most of our lives that we make. And so my dialogue is this: Lord, my best friend, I thank you so much that you love me. And I may not understand it all while I'm here, but one day when we talk face to face, we'll be able to understand it. But the main thing is the greatest example of your permissive will, if you'll think about it, is when God allowed Jesus to die for us. And it's in your name I pray. And we'll talk again soon and often, and I will be listening until we talk face to face. In many of these things we will then understand. Your turn. I guess my takeaway is this: God loves you and me so much, and others, that he even will allow us to reject him. I mean, that is so sad. And I hope that you don't fall into that category. You don't blame God for things that happen. And maybe you can even share what's happened to you with others. So you all have a great day. Walter and I will see you soon.